We're here with Colleen Coover and Paul Tobin, the creators of Gingerbread Girl, your guys' new graphic novel that's out. Can you want to tell me a little about it? Who wants to go first? Don't fight for the opportunity.
This has been like the question that always stumps me is like, what is Gingerbread Girl about? Because it's about a girl who is very flighty and has a sister, or maybe she doesn't, and she has a mad scientist father, or maybe that's made up, or we're not really sure. But it's a character study of this girl as viewed through the eyes of people she knows and various passersby and pigeons and bulldogs. In a nutshell.
And is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's just basically the main character, Anna, has a couple of, she believes that her sister was made from a brain extraction from the Penfold homunculus. And then other narrators believe that it has something to do with a breakup that her parents got. So it's sort of a mental study of what is truth and a look at the perception of the truth in the book. I kind of almost look at it as like a trial with like a variety of narrators looking as who's presenting what evidence and what is the truth behind Anna's mental condition.
So are you guys working from the premise that is a mental condition, or are you kind of just playing with that? I see a lot of themes in this.
That's actually a mystery. I don't know if you have an idea of what the truth is in this story.
I try to stay away from actually establishing like a truth and have it just be more like the process of finding the truth and a quest for the truth rather than a nail-driven, this is the actual, ruling or anything like that.
Okay. So your characters, did they come from somewhere, like the periphery characters, like the pigeon or the bulldog? I don't want to give anything away too much.
Well, they come from like her life and the surroundings of her life, and some of them are like a boyfriend of hers and a girlfriend of hers, a pigeon that happens to fly by, a magician she consulted once, and things like that. So it's the people on the periphery of her life, and also characters within the city, which we actually set it in Portland, so it's like some Portland characters and things like that. So it's just like a revolving cast of people who are around her life.
And it should be noted that the Portland is very much based on Portland, but it's kind of a fantasy comic booky kind of Portland too, where it was we took a lot of artistic license with Portland. It's more the feel of Portland than anything. It's a lot about feelings.
What about feelings? Well, speaking of feelings, there is the whole love triangle dynamic going on there. Which seems to be kind of a theme in a lot of, especially in your earlier work.
You're referring to Small Favors, aren't you?
I'm referring to Small Favors, my all-time favorite.
Well, the thing with Small Favors is that was specifically a Small Favors is an erotic comic that I did earlier this century. The thing about that is, it was more of a straight up, this is what it is. It's a sexual entertainment for adults, and it had the main couple, and then it sort of went out from there. In this case, Anna is less about. It's less about that. It's more about. It's more an extension of her character as a person who has not nailed down her life. It's more about her. Being flighty and a flirt and a tease and being frankly kind of emotionally unstable. So I actually think of the characters in Small Favors as being extremely stable emotionally, because they're at ease with their life and their very simple task of having sex with each other in a comic book. Whereas Anna is much more complex and mysterious.
What was the hardest part about this project for you both?
I think choosing the narrators. I had a whole list of people that I wanted to work with, and it was very hard to choose narrators that were actually lending towards the plot rather than just me going off and having fun with characters. And because as a writer, it's very easy to just kind of get into your own world and start creating things, but you need to create things that still lead you towards the goal of the story rather than just lead off into whimsy. And so there were some like original narrators in my original script that were a lot of fun, but weren't really a part of the story. And I needed everything to be a part of the story. So I think that was the hardest, with like a revolving cast of narrators, to make sure that everybody was actually adding to the story.
What's the hardest part for you?
Gosh, I don't even know. Maybe I think just designing that many different characters. When you've got a style like mine, it's kind of a clean line style. It's really important to actually design a lot of different characters that are instantly recognizable to the reader, right? So you don't like confuse one female character for another female character. So that's always a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun to design characters. Also, there were animals, and I got to learn how to draw like dogs, and that was fun.
The first bulldog you drew, right? The first bulldog, yeah.
I've drawn many more bulldogs since, because I have worked with editor Nate Cosby at Marvel Comics in the meantime. So, and he loves bulldogs.
What's the future
Of
for Gingerbread Girl?
I think that's it. I think that was a story that has been told. It's one of those things where it really doesn't need a sequel. It is what it is. In its little mysterious package.
I work a lot for Marvel Comics, so I'm working in like continuity that's been built again and again and again and reestablished and reborn and things like that. And so I really wanted to tell a story that was just like a set. Here's the one thing, here's what you get that. And I think that's very valuable in comics, to have stories that have, closings and stand alone, because readers can get sometimes caught up in continuity, and that can kind of bring a creativity level down. And I think the excitement of a new, boom, here we go, and that's what it is, project is really important for the industry. So I have no real plans for like a Gingerbread sequel or anything like that.
And just artistically, it's satisfying to have a piece that just belongs by itself. Just by itself.
To wrap this up, actually, I'm going to ask you both, what is your issue?
Oh, I have such fondness for like the first books that I ever read. So I can remember like an issue of Tales to Astonish where the Hulk was fighting Submariner. It's a comic that my cousin found in a garage for me, and he gave it to me. And I can remember being really young, and the Hulk has punched the Submariner, and he's flying across the entire ocean. And he knows if he lands in the water, he's okay, but if he hits the beach, he's going to die. And like as a, 5-6-year-old kid, I was like, he's gonna die, and so like it was very exciting for me. So I don't know if that's like, it certainly wasn't the best written comic I've ever read, or the best, the most well done comic, but it's still one that holds like a lot of love for me from the nostalgia aspect. Your turn.
Oh, I know. It's the Detective Comics where they meet the Beatles.
There was a detective comic?
Yeah, except it was the whole Paul is Dead thing, except I forget what they were called. They were called like the Love Doctors or something stupid like that. But that's not at all what it was. But it was like Saul is dead, and so Batman and Robin have to, or Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, because they're staying in Stately Wayne Manor, the Beatles, they decide to solve the mystery whether or not Saul is dead, as has been rumored. But then it turns out, spoiler, that while they were all digging the yoga in the Himalayas, the rest of the band had died in a plane crash. So Saul had replaced the rest of the band with lookalikes. So he's the only one left. And the guy who is the John character wants to keep this fiction going, and apparently it's been in danger of being exposed, so he was going to murder Saul, so Batman and Robin save everybody from this John character, and then they start a new band, a trio called Phoenix. I know, right? And that was that, and I had it coverless when I was a kid, because I didn't have any covers on my comics because they had all been stripped.